Hey friends, welcome back to Joyful Homestead. I have been so excited for this video. It's been in the works for a while. A dear friend of mine, who is also one of our subscribers, came up with this idea that then just blossomed for me. What if we showed people what different coops are out there? What are people using in their backyards, depending on the space they had, the resources they had? So I took a bunch of tours to show you all on this video several different ideas based on the setups that you're going to see in this video today. So whether you're just starting out and you're thinking, how can I make a backyard chicken coop work for me? Or if you just really love chickens and want some new ideas or want to just take this journey with us for fun, enjoy. Welcome to the first stop on my tour in a very active and busy farmyard. This is my friend's chicken coop inside a stall of their barn. It is a fantastic setup. You'll be able to hear the donkeys in the background. The girls are coming and going up here in the ramp. They are able to get out into their run, and from there they free range for part of the day. But they've got their food and water hanging here. They've got nesting boxes over there. Some girls are still working on some eggs right now. This is just a beautiful setup. Check out stall number 2. They've got 2 separate places for their chickens. This one right now is a place for nursing back to health one who was attacked. And it's a great place also to keep chicks separate. They will be in here for a while as they grow and as they start to assimilate with the flock. They'll be placed in here with the gentle older hens that will take care of them. This has got the feeder and the water. This has got everything they need in this spot. Then they can, through a little chicken door, go next door. Once they're older, then they can go out into the run. The last thing I want to show you about this amazing setup is the chicken run. It is completely enclosed around the sides and on the top. This would keep them safe if they decided to keep the chickens in here all the time. They do free range during the day, but there are points at which they can just keep them enclosed, and the chickens can come and go from the door from the barn where the stall coop is. So this is a fantastic setup. I love it here. Up next, welcome to a true backyard coop in the middle of town. It sits right next to the children's swing set. It's been in use for 1 year now and seems very structurally sound. Five hens call this place home, and they seem pretty comfortable sharing this amount of space. The nesting and roosting areas sit on an upper level, making them easy to clean out. There are 3 nesting boxes and 1 roosting bar. Finally, the dispensers for food and water sit centralized in the lower area. This coop is really ideal for either a beginner or for the smaller yard spaces within the city limits. Next up is this charming building. These friends of mine were very fortunate to have moved into a house that already had a chicken coop building on it. Isn't this cool? It's got all the amenities that a chicken would need. They're just going to add a run shortly before they get their flock. They've been working hard. They're ready to get some chickens moved in here, but come on in, take a look at it. There's a lovely window in the front that opens and has a screen. Inside is a ladder type setup with multiple roosting bars. There are 5 nesting boxes with another roosting bar in front of them. The entire compartment can be opened up from the outside for egg gathering and cleaning. This is really nice. If you think you might like a prefab type building for your chicken coop, check with companies in your area, the ones that make storage sheds, pole barns, those kinds of structures where you buy it, it's already made and it gets delivered to your house. So it could be something kind of like this where it is already meant to be a chicken coop, or you could possibly get one of the shed style where you retrofit it to be what you need. Add a chicken door, add some nesting boxes, and voila, you've got your own chicken coop, and it's going to be ready to go pretty quickly. So this is another great option. Welcome to the next big chicken run. They have a huge area on this property because they are blessed to have enough space for all of their chickens, and several houses, and even a run that's in the process of being built. My friends have been using this coop for quite a while. It was even at a different location, their previous residence, and they moved it to here. So it has survived a move. It's a tad more rickety because of it, but they're still glad that it's working. The roof is really sound. It's got all of these places where you can access the inside. They said it's very easy to clean, and it's easy to pull out the eggs if they should nest in here because of all the different doors. So they've seen some pros and cons to this, but this could be a really good starter type coop idea. And here's one other structure that they have. They used some materials that they just had laying around and built a place that would house the chicks that came in. Because when you decide to start with chicks, you've got to have them very carefully monitored as far as safety and as far as temperature, and so you've got to have a designated space for them. So they actually built this and kept them wonderfully safe in here, and now that they don't have chicks currently, this has been used as an extra nesting box. I'm standing in front of what is part of their work in progress. They bought this frame and they are attaching the chicken wire all up and down, and it's going to head that way until it's completely enclosing this structure for their chickens. It'll keep them super safe. And inside, they can put what they want in here. It's totally customizable. They're planning on nesting boxes and roosting bars, a place for the food and water. What's nice about these frames like this is you can buy this at so many different kinds of stores, like Tractor Supply and companies like that, and then you can make it what you want. It was really fun to visit these friends today and hear all about their plans for the future. If you have no building currently for a coop, but you have lots of space where hens can roam and roosters can feel free to crow, check out this property. They've enclosed a large area of this meadow with an electric fence. For a shelter, they have a Justin Rhodes style mobile coop as well as a stationary one, both of which open for easy cleaning. They made 2 feeding stations. Each one is a 5-gallon bucket with a customized top to keep the grain dry. Each bucket has 4 places for the chickens to sidle up and grab some grub. It was fun watching them take turns. And a little bonus footage because this hungry girl cracked me up. And this nice tripod support for the water bucket kept everything right in place. I was very impressed to learn that not a single chicken has been taken from this flock by predators. The 4 roosters and the electric fence are doing a fantastic job. They bought this solar-powered electric fence setup from a company called Premier One, and they have been very happy with both the product and the customer service. I'm so glad I came to this friend's property to check out their setup, as their success should give a lot of food for thought for any folks in a similar situation. Welcome to one of our chicken coops. I am so proud to say that Dan built this one. He is not a builder, but he did a fantastic job making this structure. It was the idea of having it be a lean-to attached to our barn. And when we first bought this property, we started to do all the fencing to go around the pastures, and he started collecting the boards that were left after that big project and started to build this. He put in windows on both sides with screens so that we get some nice ventilation, which is super important, especially in the summertime months. And then he added a large door for us to go in and out of. I have barely enough space to actually stand up straight in here, which is great, though Dan can't, unfortunately. Over here, we've got plenty of nesting boxes for the girls. And over here in the corner, we have a couple different railing and ladder options for them to roost. In the back is that other window that I mentioned. So we've got great cross ventilation. It stays really comfortable in here. It stays warm enough in the winter. It keeps them out of the rain when they want to pop in and out of their little chicken door. That little chicken door brings them out into their run here. It's covered by a very strong camo netting that keeps them safe from hawks. You might be able to see they're working on a bale of straw up there. It gives them something to do. It gives them a purpose during the day, because you'll find that when you have a run that's not very big, eventually all the vegetation is gone. They have scratched it all up. Our ultimate goal for this area is to have chicken tunnels just like we do attached to our other coop, so that the girls will have more space to spread out and more vegetation to go after. We have been pretty happy with this coop. All in all, these last 7 years, this has kept our hens really safe and well protected. Not bad for a project made out of a bunch of leftover lumber. The coop that I just showed you was the only one we had for several years, and we decided we really wanted to expand our flock and also incorporate our garden into our chicken life. So we decided to get this second coop. This one has been just amazing. It is a beautiful, handcrafted, custom built by a gentleman here in North Carolina, and it has been wonderful. I'm going to take you on a tour inside that one in just a second, but I also want to tell you that this one, the reason why it is incorporated into our garden is because they come out this atrium here, and then from there they go out into the chicken tunnels. So we did a whole separate video on our chicken tunnels, why we like them so much and how we made them. So check that one out next, but let's go take a quick tour in here. This building has a metal roof. It's got an overhead light that is solar powered, and we tend to extend our day by using it on the winter evenings. It's typical stick built, so it's got the trusses and wood around the top and wood around the sides. Nesting boxes are here on the side. There are 4 of them, though they tend to all share one. Isn't that funny? It's such a chicken thing to do, right? And then they've got 3 roosting bars in the back. Here's the little chicken door that can be locked at night and opened up in the morning. And then they head out into our covered atrium. And there are 2 different ways in which they can leave the atrium and head into the chicken tunnels. We added this gutter on both sides along the roof line at the bottom, knowing that metal roofs in particular are fantastic ways to catch water. So once the gutter was installed, we put in this rain barrel, and then we can just filter that rainwater out and use it for the chickens and the garden. One last thing to mention about this structure, from like right here down, it is all screen all the way around except for where the front door is. And so it is fantastic for ventilation in the warm months, but in the cold months, we changed it up a little bit to keep the girls protected and warm enough. So we kind of make it into a fortress. You can see this plastic sheet right here. It's hanging on all 3 of the sides with the grommets attaching it to the side of the house. And these hang, and then we put these bales of straw up against it. So that keeps it just real nice. It keeps them warm enough without the whipping cold wind coming through. So just something to keep in mind if you do have the kind of coop that's got quite a bit of good ventilation for summer. You also want to think about what it's going to be like for them in the cold months. Well, that wraps up the tour. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I had a blast going to all those different friends' houses and see what they do. A lot of their things are different than what we do, so it was fun and I learned some things along the way. So I hope at least one of those grabbed your attention as food for thought for what you can do if you're just starting on this adventure of backyard coops or thinking about expanding in the future. So put in the comments below anything that you really love that stood out to you, or ask us any questions at all that you may have about backyard chicken coops. Talk to you soon.